You're listening to the Sunday Sims Podcast. Oh yeah, we're back for another week of the Sims. Welcome to the Sunday Sims Podcast. It's time for some Olympics tennis. This is actually a special Friday Sims episode of the Sunday Sims. We were fortunate enough to get the Washington draws for the men's and women's for next week, so we can go ahead and knock everything out at once. Of course, the Paris Olympics, 2024 Olympics, playing at Roland Garros this year, so it will be on clay. We played in Tokyo, I believe, in 2020. Alexander Zverev was the winner there on the men's side, and the gold medal went to Belinda Bencic on the women's side. We do have a good player field there. There are some that have held out of the Olympics, such as Sabalenka, Ons Jabeur, and a couple other good players for various reasons. But for the most part, we do have a pretty strong field at the Olympics. ATP Washington and WTA Washington, both 500 level tournaments. Last year we saw Daniel Evans win on the men's side, and Coco Gauff was the women's winner there. Still a pretty decent player field, surprisingly, considering all of the players that are in Paris for the Olympics. So we should see some interesting matchups in both tournaments this week. We're wrapping up our previous week of tournaments. I think Atlanta has not even reached the semifinals yet. They've dealt with some rain. Jordan Thompson is into the semis. He was a plus 1,800 outright at the tennis tips. We've got Matteo Berrettini into the finals in Kitzbühel. He was a plus 380 outright we had at tennis tips. Fortunately, we lost Diaz Acosta in the semis today. He had to retire midway through the second set to Hugo Gaston. Diaz Acosta we had at a plus 2,200 outright. Kind of funny, in Umag, we have Francisco Cerundolo and Lorenzo Musetti. If you go back and take a listen to episode 4 on the Sunday Sims podcast, we had Francisco Cerundolo and Lorenzo Musetti in the finals there. So kind of fun to see both of those guys go through to the finals. I think we had Cerundolo winning 6-2, 6-3 last week. So could that be a precursor for tomorrow's final matchup? We'll see. On the women's side, we did wrap up both tournaments today. Mira Andreeva won in 3 sets over Elena Venesian. And Magda Linette, another woman we had in the finals in Prague on the Sunday Sims podcast last week. We had her losing to Anna Carolina Schmiedlova. She beats Magdalena Fret in real life 6-2, 6-1. So Magda Linette, congrats on the WTA title there in Prague. I do want to tell you about the tennis tips. It is thetennistips.com, where you can find all of my tennis betting, player prop, and DFS advice in one spot. The Dub Club platform we're on makes it easy to get notified every time I post new tips. I leverage all of the same data and statistical modeling used for the Sunday Sims into making informed tennis bets and player prop picks. With the VIP All Access package, you'll get weekly outrights and futures bets, my daily moneyline best bets, player prop cards for sites like Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy, and a daily DFS Core 4 for those of you that are on DraftKings. Subscribe now at thetennistips.com. Use promo code SundaySims for 20% off the VIP All Access package, or enjoy a 7-day free trial on that package. It's a good time to get in now. I just posted 10 outright picks for the Olympics, mostly on the men's side, as I do believe this is Iga Swiatek's tournament to lose on the women's side, but we have a ton of men's outright picks. We're going to have fun with those. Hopefully we'll win some money. Good time to get in now. You can help support the podcast there at thetennistips.com. And with that, let's march on. We'll start in Paris for the men's singles draw at the 2024 Olympics. Take a look at some of these first-round matchups. It is a 64-man draw. Novak Djokovic, the number 1 seed. He'll take on Matthew Ebden, who we have not seen in a long while on the ATP Tour for singles at least. Supposedly, we're going to see Rafael Nadal. He has some doubt as to his playing status, apparently suffering a bit of an injury setback, so we'll see. He drew Martin Fucsovics in the first round, but what is interesting there is Djokovic and Nadal both win their first-round matchups, and we've got a headlining second-round matchup there between two former world number 1s. This is on clay, so we do have a number of clay court specialists in the field. Arthur Fies, of course, just won in Hamburg last week. Sebastian Baez is the number 12 seed. He's taking on Thiago Monteiro, another clay court specialist. Zizou Bergs will be taking on Stefanos Tsitsipas at the bottom of this first quarter. Tsitsipas is the number 8 seed. Alex Zverev, the French Open finalist, also the Hamburg finalist last week that lost to Fees. He will take on Jami Munar. Zverev is the number 3 seed there at the top of the second quarter. Lorenzo Musetti's had a lot of success here in recent months. He's in this quarter as the number 11 seed, taking on Gael Monfils. Nuno Borges just won in Bastad last week. He'll take on another clay court specialist in Mariano Navone. And I suppose it'd be fun to watch Alexander Bublik there taking on the number 7 seed Taylor Fritz at the bottom of the second quarter. Moving on, Casper Ruud, really good clay court player there, the number 6 seed. He should cruise by Taro Daniel there in that first round matchup. We got Pedro Martinez, Francisco Cerundolo, Ugo Humbert, a ton of clay court players here. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Dusan Lajovic. So it's not going to be an easy tournament for any of these men to just cruise through on. Obviously, Carlos Alcaraz the big favorite, but there's a lot of good players in here, so it'll definitely be interesting to watch as the tournament unfolds. Daniil Medvedev, at the bottom of this third quarter, is the number 4 seed. He'll take on Rinky Hijikata in the first round. And to that bottom quarter, Carlos Alcaraz is the number 2 seed. He'll take on Hadi Habib, who is I believe he was a doubles player that was entered, and with some of the withdrawals, they had to move up a couple of these really low-ranked doubles players into the singles draw. So Alcaraz should cruise in this first-round matchup. It's not going to be an easy second-round matchup, I'll say. Talon Griekspoor, oddly enough, was in the finals in Washington last year this week. He lost to Daniel Evans there, but Griekspoor's a good player. Cameron Norrie's been playing really well. And then as Alcaraz moves on, Alejandro Tabilo, the number 15 seed, possible third-round matchup there for him. And at the top of this bottom quarter is Alex de Minaur, the number 5 seed. We'll see if he's fit enough to play. Of course, he had that injury in Wimbledon that forced him to withdraw late in the tournament. So we'll see if he plays. It's a very, very tough matchup for him in the first round against Jan-Lennard Struff. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our first round results. We'll start here in the top quarter with the number 1 seed Novak Djokovic moving on easily 6-3, 6-0 over Ebden. And it is Rafa Nadal getting through in 3 sets over Martin Fucsovics. Djokovic and Nadal, that'll be must-see TV, even though at this point in their careers, Djokovic probably going to roll Nadal, you'd think. Milos Raonic, we have not seen him on a clay court in forever. He wins this one here in 2 sets over Dominic Kepfer. Raonic will play Matteo Arnaldi in round 2 here as Arnaldi with a bit of an upset over the Frenchman Arthur Fils. Sebastian Baez, the number 12 seed, gets by Thiago Monteiro 6-4, 6-2. And Baez in round 2 will take on Benjamin Hassan, mainly a challenger level player, but he is here in the Olympics representing Lebanon. And it is Hassan that gets by Christopher Eubanks and will take on Baez in round number 2. Daniel Evans, who we just mentioned was the 2023 winner in Washington, he gets by Moez Achargwe, another one of those lower-ranked players that I believe got moved into the tournament with some of the withdrawals of the higher-ranked players. But Evans got a pretty easy matchup there in the first round. In the second round, he will not have an easy matchup. He'll face number 8 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas, who gets by Zizou Bergs. Down to the second quarter. It is the number 3 seed, Alexander Zverev, getting by Jami Munar 6-4, 6-4. Zverev in round 2 will take on Tomas Machac, who wins in 3 sets over Zhang Zhizhen of China. Stan Wawrinka, 6-3, 7-6 winner over Pavel Kotev. Wawrinka in round 2 will take on Nicholas Jarry, the number 16 seed, who takes 3 sets to get by Alexei Popyrin. Gael Monfils with a bit of an upset here over the number 11 seed Lorenzo Musetti. Monfils 6-3, 7-6. In round 2, it'll be Gael Monfils against Mariano Navone as Navone gets by Nuno Borges 7-6, 3-6, 7-5. Jack Draper, 6-4, 6-4 winner over Kai Nishikori. And it will be Taylor Fritz that will meet Jack Draper in round number 2. Fritz gets by Bublik in 3 sets. To the third quarter we go, starting with Casper Ruud, the number 6 seed, with ease, 6-3, 6-3 over Taro Daniel. Ruud will take on Pedro Martinez, who wins in 3 sets over Andrea Vavasori. Francisco Cerundolo, fresh off his finals appearance in Umag this week, will be taking on Tomas Barrios Vera. Cerundolo gets through 6-1, 6-3. And in round 2, it'll be Cerundolo taking on Fabian Marozhin, who upsets the Frenchman, number 10 seed, 3-6, 6-3, 6-3. So not a good first round so far for the French. Felix Auger-Aliassime, the number 13 seed, is by Marcos Giron, 6-3, 4-6, 6-3. Auger-Aliassime in round 2 will take on Maximilian Marterer, who wins in 3 sets over Dusan Lajovic. Sebastian Offner in 3 sets takes out Robin Haase, who we also have not seen in a long while in the ATP ranks. Offner will take on Daniil Medvedev in round number 2. Medvedev wins over Hijikata 6-4, 6-4. Into the bottom quarter, it's the number 5 seed Alex de Minaur facing off against Jan-Lennard Struff in probably, I would say, the best first-round matchup that we've got. And Struff is the player that gets through here, 6-3, 2-6, 6-3. In round 2, Struff will take on Corentin Moutet, who wins in 3 sets over Sumit Nagal. The 18-year-old Jacob Mensik, who just got knocked out today out of the semis in Umag. Mensik will take on Tommy Paul. It is Mensik who wins in 3 sets over Alexander Shevchenko. Tommy Paul, the number 9 seed, wins in 3 sets over Luciano Darderi. Alejandro Tabilo, the number 15 seed, 7-5-7-6 winner over Roman Safulin. Tabilo will take on Thiago Seybold-Wild, who wins in straight sets over Tomas Martin Echeverry. And finally, it's Cameron Norrie in straight sets over Talon Griekspoor. Norrie will take on Carlos Alcaraz, the number 2 seed, who wins with ease over Habib 6-2, 6-0. Let's go back up to the top. For the aforementioned headline match here, Novak Djokovic, the number 1 seed, taking on Rafael Nadal, and it is Djokovic. Though it takes him 3 sets here in this sim, Rafa won the first set 6-3, it looks like. So he gave Djokovic some fits here. Djokovic does come through, though, in 3 sets. The number 1 seed will take on Matteo Arnaldi in round number 2. Arnaldi beats Milos Raonic 6-4, 6-4. The number 12 seed, Sebastian Baez, gets by Benjamin Hassan in straight sets, 6-3, 6-1. And Baez will take on the number 8 seed, Stefanos Tsitsipas, who wins in straight sets over Daniel Evans. Back to quarter 2 we go. Let's start with the number 3 seed, Alexander Zverev. Takes him 3 sets, but he does get by Tomas Machac, 6-2, 3-6, 6-2. Zverev in round number 3 will take on Nicholas Jarry, the number 16 seed. Jarry beats Stan Wawrinka 6-4, 6-3. Mariano Navone continues on. He's into the 3rd round after taking out Gael Monfils in 3 sets. Navone will have a tough matchup here against Taylor Fritz. The number 7 seed dispatches Jack Draper in 3 sets. Casper Ruud, the number 6 seed, is through in straight sets over Pedro Martinez. And in round number 3, Ruud will take on Francisco Cerundolo, who wins 6-2, 6-0 over Fabian Marozhin. And to the bottom of this quarter, it's the 13 seed Felix Auger-Aliassime, 6-3, 7-6 over Max Marterer. Auger-Aliassime will take on Daniil Medvedev, the number 4 seed, who wins in straight sets over Sebastian Offner. And back to the bottom quarter we go. Jan-Lennard Struff coming off that nice win over Alex de Minaur. Also gets by Corentin Moutet here. Takes him 3 sets, but he's on to the 3rd round where he will face the 18-year-old Jakob Mensik, who wins 6-4, 7-5 over Tommy Paul. Thiago Seybold-Wild wins in 3 sets over Tabilo. Bit of an upset, I would say, there. That's going to make the path a bit easier for Carlos Alcaraz. The number 2 seed wins 6-3, 6-3 over Cam Norrie. So we're looking at the last 16. Obviously, we have some really good matchups here in the last 16. Sebastian Baez and Stefanos Tsitsipas. Alexander Zverev against Nicholas Jarry. Felix Auger-Aliassime against Daniil Medvedev. So we do have some seeds on seeds here. The first matchup we'll look at, though, is Novak Djokovic, the number 1 seed, taking on Matteo Arnaldi. And it's no surprise that Djokovic gets by 6-4, 6-4. Sebastian Baez, the number 12 seed, with a bit of an upset here over Stefanos Tsitsipas. Baez wins in 3 sets, 5-7, 6-4, 6-4. So Djokovic and Baez will meet in the quarters. Alexander Zverev, the number 3 seed, is by Nicolas Jarry, 6-2, 6-3. And in the quarterfinals, it'll be Zverev against Taylor Fritz as the number 7 seed takes out Mariano Navone in 3 sets. Casper Ruud, the number 6 seed, is by Cerundolo in 3 sets. Ruud will take on Felix Auger-Aliassime here in the quarterfinals. The number 13 seed, Auger-Aliassime, upsets Daniil Medvedev in 3 sets. Not sure it's much of an upset on clay. Medvedev, of course, not much of a clay player. Auger-Aliassime is probably best on clay. So not much of an upset to me, but it does take him 3 sets, setting up a really nice quarterfinal matchup there between Ruud and Auger-Aliassime. Finally, we've got Jan-Lennard Struff, 7-5, 6-4 win over Jacob Mensik. And it will be Struff who takes on Carlos Alcaraz, who unsurprisingly gets by Thiago Seyboth-Wild in straight sets, 6-3, 6-3. Moving on here, look at the quarterfinal results. We've got a few really big upsets here. Sebastian Baez, first of all, the number 12 seed, knocks out Novak Djokovic, 7-6, 1-6, 6-4. So Baez gets through. Of course, Djokovic last year in the bronze medal match lost to Pablo Carreno Busta. So similar type of upset here. Baez into the semis will take on the number 7 seed Taylor Fritz, who scores another upset here over Alexander Zverev. Fritz is the number 7 seed, and he wins this one 4-6, 6-4, 6-2 over Zverev. Our last 2 quarterfinal matchups, it's Felix Auger-Aliassime, the number 13 seed, with another upset here over the number 6 seed Casper Ruud. Auger-Aliassime is through in 3 sets. And waiting for him is Carlos Alcaraz, the number 2 seed, 2-6, 6-2, 6-3 winner over Jan-Lennard Struff. So having a look at these quarterfinal matchups, probably a couple guys that were not pegged to make it this far, but these things happen. You look at last year's semifinals, Pablo Carreno Busta, probably not many people had him through. I doubt many people would think Sebastian Baez will make it this far, but he's here, the number 12 seed taking on the number 7 seed Taylor Fritz. And it'll be Felix Auger-Aliassime, the number 13 seed, taking on the number 2 seed Carlos Alcaraz. So we'll take a look here at the 2 winners from these semifinal matchups that will be playing for the gold medal. Sebastian Baez, representing Argentina as the number 12 seed, will take on Carlos Alcaraz of Spain, the number 2 seed. Baez beats Fritz 6-2, 3-6, 6-3, and Alcaraz is by Auger-Aliassime 6-4, 6-1. Which, of course, means the bronze medal match will be between Taylor Fritz of the United States, the number 7 seed, taking on Felix Auger-Aliassime of Canada, the number 13 seed. And we're going to look at this match first. First set result goes the way of Felix Auger-Aliassime, 6-1 over Fritz. See if he can close it out here, and he does. Felix Auger-Aliassime, 6-1, 6-4. Is the Sunday Sims bronze medal winner here at the 2024 Paris Games. And now we'll look at the gold medal match. Sebastian Baez taking on Carlos Alcaraz. I wouldn't expect this one to be very close. My model does give Carlos Alcaraz a 70% chance to win this match. But let's take a look here at the first set. And look at that. It goes the way of Sebastian Baez, 6-2. Baez, the Argentine, is 1 set away from the gold medal. See if Alcaraz can tie it up here in set number 2. He cannot. It is Sebastian Baez with a major upset here over Alcaraz, 6-2, 6-4. Sebastian Baez is your Sunday Sims gold medal winner here at the Paris Olympics. Carlos Alcaraz and Spain take home the silver medal. I would not expect that outcome. But hey, sometimes these players get hot. You never know what you're going to get. Pablo Carreno Busta over Djokovic for the bronze medal last year. Not the result many anticipated. Similar outcome here. Though I certainly wouldn't expect this to be this one-sided. Regardless, we're going to move on here to Washington in the 2024 Mubadala City DC Open. The men's and the women's are both 500 level tournaments this week. The men have, I believe, 48 entrants, so we've got 16 buys in the first round. And the women are just 28 here with 4 first-round buys to the top 4 seeds. So let's take a look at the draw first. On the men's side, the number 1 seed in Washington is Andrei Rublev, who chose not to participate in the Olympics. Rublev will get a bye to the second round, of course. First-round matchups, gosh, there's a lot of qualifiers and buys in here, so we may not see anything really great until the second round. Rublev, Arthur Rinderknech, Roberto Carballes Baena, and Francis Tiafoe will get buys into the second round from this section. Of course, with the qualifiers, we're just going to treat them as buys. So we will see Shang Junxing and Daniel Alahi Galan here make it through to the second round as they both drew qualifiers in round number 1. Looking at the second quarter, the seeded players with the buys, Sebastian Korda, Alexander Vukic, Giovanni Ampeci-Perricard, and Jordan Thompson. And Riley Opelka is back with another wild card here, so this will be his third straight week in the U.S. picking up wild cards. In the third quarter, the buys making it through to round 2, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, Flavio Caboli, Alex Mickelson, and Karen Khachanov, who we have not seen for a while. The bye via qualifiers will go to Adam Walton and Mackenzie McDonald and Luca Nardi in this quarter. Into the bottom quarter we go. It's Adrian Manarino, Miramir Kecmanovic, Brandon Nakashima, and Ben Shelton with buys into the second round as the seeded players, and picking up qualifiers and thus moving to the second round will be Denis Shapovalov and Facundo Diaz Acosta. So there's not many first-round results to look at, but let's go ahead and take a look here. Of course, Andrei Rublev gets the bye. In round 2, Rublev will take on Arthur Cazot, who beats Luca Van Asche in 3 sets. Shang Junxing, of course, moves through the qualifier and will meet Arthur Rinderknech, the number 16 seed, who, of course, had the bye. Carballes Baena, the number 11 seed, will take on Yoshihito Nishioka, 6-4-6-2 winner over Alexander Kovacevic. Daniel Alahi Galan got through with a qualifier, and Francis Tiafoe, the number 5 seed, through with a bye. So they will face off in the second round. In the second quarter, Sebastian Korda, the number 4 seed, gets a bye. He will meet Christian Garin in round number 2. Garin wins in straight sets over Aslan Karatsev. It's Max Purcell, 7-6, 7-5 over Thanasi Kokkinakis, and Purcell will take on the number 14 seed Alexander Vukic in round number 2. Giovanni Ampeci-Perricard, the number 9 seed, gets through with the bye. He will meet Emil Ruusuvuori, who wins in 3 sets over Borna Coric. And Riley Opelka in 2 sets takes out James Duckworth, and Opelka will take on Jordan Thompson, the number 7 seed, in round 2. Davidovich Fokina, the number 8 seed, is through with a bye. He'll take on Luca Nardi, who drew the qualifier in round 1. David Goffin, 6-1, 6-2, big win over Camilo Ugo Carabelli. Goffin will take on the number 10 seed Flavio Caboli in round number 2. Alex Mickelson, the number 15 seed, gets the bye. He'll face off against Mackenzie McDonald, who got through with the qualifier, and Adam Walton also drew a qualifier, so he will take on Karen Khachanov in round number 2. Khachanov, the number 3 seed. Adrian Manarino is the number 6 seed, so he'll take a bye to the second round. Denis Shapovalov will be waiting for him there. Shapovalov gets through with a qualifier drawn in round 1. Federico Coria in 3 sets defeats J.J. Wolf, and Coria will take on Miramir Kecmanovic, the number 12 seed, in round 2. Brandon Nakashima, the number 13 seed, gets through with the bye, and in round 2 he'll take on Harold Mayotte, who wins in 3 sets over Christopher O'Connell. And last, we've got Facundo Diaz Acosta getting through against a qualifier, and Ben Shelton, the number 2 seed, getting through with the bye. So now we can start digging into some of these matchups here in the second round. Going back up top, looking at the number 1 seed, Andrei Rublev. He does get through Arthur Cazot in straight sets, 6-2, 6-4. Shang Junsheng is through over Arthur Rinderknech, 6-4, 7-5. Yoshihito Nishioka in 3 sets takes out Carbayas Baena. And Nishioka will take on Daniel Alahi Galan, who upsets Francis Tiafoe here in 3 sets. Sebastian Korda, the number 4 seed. We haven't seen him since Wimbledon. He gets through Christian Garin, 6-4, 7-6. And in the third round, it'll be Korda taking on Max Purcell, who wins over Alexander Vukic, 6-2, 6-3. Giovanni and Pechi Pericard. The number 9 seed wins here over Ruusuvuori in 3 sets, and he will take on Jordan Thompson, the number 7 seed, who wins 6-4, 6-4 over Opelka. Starting with the bottom half, Davidovich Fokina, the number 8 seed, wins 6-4, 6-1 over Luca Nardi. Davidovich Fokina will take on Flavio Caboli, the number 10 seed, who wins in 3 sets over David Goffin. Alex Michelson, the number 15 seed in 3 sets, takes out Mackenzie McDonald. Michelson will take on Karen Khachanov, the number 3 seed, who wins 7-5, 6-3 over Adam Walton. Adrian Manarino, this guy can't win a match anymore, apparently. He loses again here to Denis Shapovalov in 3 sets. Shapovalov in the third round will take on Miomir Kecmanovic, the number 12 seed, who wins 6-3, 7-5 over Coria. Brandon Nakashima, the number 13 seed, is through over Harold Mayotte, 6-2, 6-2. Nakashima will take on Facundo Diaz-Acosta, 6-3, 6-3. Diaz-Acosta with a nice upset here over Ben Shelton. So not good results so far in the U.S. hardcourt swing for Ben Shelton, who lost to Shang Junsheng in Atlanta in his first match there, and now to Diaz-Acosta here in Washington. So Diaz-Acosta and Nakashima will be the final third-round matchup. Taking a look at the last 16, the number 1 seed survives. The number 2 seed did not, but we do have 3 and 4 here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15. So quite a few seeded players left. But surprisingly not many matches here that I would deem must-see tennis. And Pechi Pericard and Thompson would probably headline it for me. Yeah, not a very good round of 16 here. Of course, all the big names there in Paris. So should not be surprising, but we'll take a look at the results here. Andrei Rublev is through to the quarterfinals, winning over Zhang Shunxing, 6-3, 5-7, 6-3. He'll take on Yoshihito Nishioka, who wins in 3 sets over Galan. It is Sebastian Korda, the number 4 seed, who wins in 3 sets over Max Purcell. He'll take on Jordan Thompson, the number 7 seed, who wins in 3 sets over Giovanni and Pechi Pericard. Flavio Caboli, the number 10 seed, wins over Davidovich Fokina in straight sets, and it'll be Caboli taking on Karen Khachanov, the number 3 seed, who takes out Alex Michelson in 3 sets. Miomir Kecmanovic, the number 12 seed, wins in 3 sets over Denis Shapovalov, and Facundo Diaz-Acosta in 3 sets takes out Brandon Nakashima. So we'll go to the quarterfinals, where we start with Andrei Rublev, the number 1 seed. He does take out Yoshihito Nishioka, 7-6, 6-0. And in the semis, he'll take on the number 4 seed, Sebastian Korda, who gets by Jordan Thompson, 6-3, 6-3. We've got Karen Khachanov, the number 3 seed, winning 6-4, 6-2 over Caboli. And Khachanov will take on Miomir Kecmanovic. The number 12 seed wins over Diaz-Acosta in 3 sets. So here we are. We've got seeds 1, 3, 4, and 12 here in the semis. Rublev and Korda would be a really nice matchup to watch. Khachanov and Kecmanovic. Kecmanovic's a good player on hard courts. That's definitely his favorite surface. I'm taking on Karen Khachanov. And our final will be the 2 Russians. Andrei Rublev, the number 1 seed, wins over Korda in 3 sets, and Karen Khachanov, the number 3 seed, over Kecmanovic in 3 sets. So Rublev and Khachanov will duke it out here in the finals in Washington. We'll take a look at the head-to-head. Karen Khachanov leaves 4-3 here. So these two have a long history of playing against each other. Khachanov kind of edges out Rublev here, but let's see how it plays out. Our simulation has Karen Khachanov winning set number 1, 7-5 over Rublev. So a chance for a bit of an upset here for Khachanov. But Rublev evens it up here with a 6-4 win in the second set, forcing a decider. And the title here in Washington will go to Andrei Rublev. 6-3 in that third set. So Andrei Rublev, the number 1 seed, is the 2024 Mubadala City DC Open winner here on the Sunday Sims. We are going to go back to Paris here, and we're going to take a look at the women's draw here. Iga Swiatek, of course, the number 1 seed, has absolutely dominated at Roland Garros. She is a big favorite to win the tournament here. Her first-round matchup, Arena Camelia Begu. Second-round matchup, Podoroska or Perry. I mean, Diana Schneider might come through as her third-round matchup. Danielle Collins might be her hardest test, or Jelena Ostapenko in round 4. This is a pretty clear path for Swiatek for sure, up here in the top quarter. Quarter number 2 starts with Caroline Garcia, the number 17 seed, who moved up to that spot after Rybakina withdrew the other day. Qinwen Zhang, the number 6 seed, we've got an outright pick on her to win the tournament over at tennistips.com. She's at the bottom of this second quarter, taking on Daria Saville in round number 1. Emma Navarro and Leylah Fernandez are the other 2 seeded ladies here. And the Naomi Osaka-Angelique Kerber matchup is in this second quarter. Of course, Kerber just announced that she will retire after the Olympics. So maybe the last time we see Angie Kerber here as she takes on a pretty good in-form Naomi Osaka in the first round. In the third quarter, we've got Barbara Krejcikova, the number 9 seed, fresh off her Wimbledon title. Jessica Pegula is the number 5 seed in this quarter, and we also have Jasmine Paolini, the number 4 seed here at the bottom of this quarter. So a lot of big names here. Mira Andreeva is in this quarter as an unseeded player. So this is going to be a tough quarter to come out of for sure for any of these ladies. And the bottom quarter, Maria Sakkari, the number 7 seed. She's got a pretty good path here. She may have to play Marta Kostyuk, the number 12 seed, or Putin-Seva there in the third round. But Sakkari's got a nice little run here, possibly to the quarterfinals. And at the bottom of the fourth quarter, we've got Donna Vekic, the number 13 seed, and Coco Gauff as the number 2 seed. Not an easy matchup for Gauff in the first round as she'll take on Ayla Tomljanovic. So going back up to the top, we'll take a look at our first results. Iga Swiatek, the number 1 seed, 6-3, 6-1 over Begu. And in round number 2, Swiatek will take on Diane Perry. The French woman wins in 3 sets over Nadia Podoroska. Linda Noskova in 3 sets takes out Wang Zhiyu. And Noskova will take on Elisabetta Cottiaretto, who wins in 3 sets over the number 15 seed Diana Schneider. So there goes the seed from the top of Swiatek's quarter, so her path just got a bit easier too. Another upset, Camila Osorio, 6-4, 3-6, 7-6 winner over Ostapenko. So there goes another seed out of Swiatek's quarter. Osorio will take on Diana Yastremska, who wins in straight sets over Laura Pigossi. Mayar Sharif is a good player on clay. She wins in 3 sets over Caroline Wozniacki. Sharif will take on the number 8 seed Danielle Collins in round number 2 as Collins wins in straight sets over Laura Sigismund. The second quarter starts with Caroline Garcia, the number 17 seed, wins in straight sets over Jacqueline Christian. Angie Kerber gets through here against Osaka in 3 sets, so we'll see a little bit more of Kerber here as she wins 6-1, 4-6, 7-5, and will take on Garcia in round number 2. Petra Martic wins in 3 sets over Kristina Buxa, and Martic will take on the number 16 seed Leylah Fernandez, who drew a really tough first-round matchup herself here against Mukova, but Fernandez wins it 6-3, 6-4. Emma Navarro, the American and number 11 seed, wins in 3 sets over Julia Grabber. Navarro will take on Magdalena Freck, who just lost to Magda Linette in the Prague final. Freck wins in 3 sets over Victoria Tomova. Arantxa Rus in straight sets takes out Angelina Kalinina, and Rus will take on Daria Saville, who scores a major upset here against Zheng Qinwen, 6-4, 6-4. We would not like that at thetennistips.com, as we do have a pretty sizable outright bet in for Zhang. We're hoping she can at least make it to the semis and probably meet Swiatek there, where we'd probably hedge out of that bet, but she doesn't even make it past the first round here. To the third quarter we go. Jessica Pegula, the number 5 seed, is through in 3 sets over Victoria Golubic. Elina Svitolina in 3 sets over Uchijima. Tamara Korpach, 6-4, 6-1 winner over Wang Jinyu. Sarah Sorribes Tormo in straight sets takes out Barbara Krejcikova, the Wimbledon 2024 winner and number 9 seed. So another upset there for Sorribes Tormo, and she'll take on Korpach in round number 2. Haddad Maia, the number 14 seed, in 3 sets takes out Gracheva, and she will take on Anna Karolina Schmiedlova, who in 3 sets takes out Katie Bolter. In a battle of the ladies' champions from this week, Magda Linette, the winner in Prague, takes out Mira Andreeva, the winner in Yashi. In 3 sets, 7-6, 4-6, 6-2, Linette is through to round number 2, where she'll take on Jasmine Paolini. The number 4 seed there takes out Anna Bogdan in straight sets. And to the bottom quarter, it's Maria Sakkari, the number 7 seed, getting upset here by Danka Kovinic, 6-4, 6-3. Sakkari is quickly becoming one of the most inconsistent players in the WTA, so maybe not so surprising, but definitely a shock to see the number 7 seed out. Kovinic will take on Yuan Yue, who wins 6-1, 6-4 over Alexandrova in round number 1. Clara Burel, the French woman, in 3 sets takes out Katerina Siniakova. Burel will take on Yulia Putintseva, 6-3, 6-2 winner over the number 12 seed Kostyuk. Another seeded player gone, but this one maybe not so much of an upset. Donna Vekic, the number 13 seed, is through in straight sets over Lucia Bronzetti. Vekic will take on Bianca Andreescu, who wins in 3 sets over Clara Tauson. It's Tatiana Maria, 7-5, 6-2 over Maria Karl. Tatiana Maria will take on the number 2 seed Coco Gauff, who wins in 3 sets over Ayla Tomljanovic. Drops that first set 3-6, but regroups nicely 6-1, 6-4 to round out the match there. The number 2 seed is on to round number 2. So we'll go back up top and take a look at some second round results. Iga Swiatek, of course, the number 1 seed, 6-4, 6-2 over Diane Perry. Swiatek is into round number 3, where she'll face Elisabetta Corchioretto, who wins 7-5, 6-1 over Linda Noskova. Camila Osorio, 6-4, 2-6, 6-3 winner over Yastremska. Osorio will take on Danielle Collins as the number 8 seed, takes out Meyer Sharif, 7-5, 4-6, 7-6. Quarter 2 starts with the number 17 seed Caroline Garcia getting by Angie Kerber, 6-4, 7-6. And Petra Martic with a 3-set upset over Leylah Fernandez, 4-6, 6-3, 6-3. The number 11 seed Emma Navarro is on. She gets by Magdalena Freck in 3 sets. Navarro in the third round will take on Arantxa Rus, who wins in straight sets over Daria Saville. And Jessica Pegula, the number 5 seed, is over Elina Svitolina in straight sets, 6-2, 6-4. Pegula will take on Sarah Sorribes Tormo. Continues a nice run here with a 3-set win over Tamara Korpach. And at Karolina Schmiedlova with another bit of an upset here over the number 14 seed Haddad Maia. Schmiedlova wins this 1-6, 2-3, 6, 7-6. In the third round, it'll be Schmiedlova taking on the number 4 seed Jasmine Paolini, who wins 6-1, 6-4 over Magda Linette. And to the bottom quarter, we'll start out with Danka Kovinic continuing into the third round here, taking out Yuan Yue. After beating Sakari in round 1, Kovinic wins this one 6-2, 6-1, and will take on Clara Burrell, who wins 6-3, 6-4, somewhat surprisingly, over Yulia Putintseva. Donna Vekic, the number 13 seed, takes out Bianca Andreescu in 3 sets. She looks like she may have a nice little path to the semis, as Vekic will meet Tatiana Maria in the third round in a stunning upset. Tatiana Maria in 3 sets. 7-6, 5-7, 6-3 over Coco Gauff. So the number 2 seed out here at the hands of Tatiana Maria. And that'll bring up the last 16. We've got a whole lot of seeded players knocked out here. Just 7 of the 16 seeds are remaining. And we don't have a single seed-on-seed matchup, so looks like our first matchup will be Iga Swiatek, the number 1 seed, taking on Elisabetta Cocciaretto, and she wins 6-0, 6-0, the double bagel over Cocciaretto in the third round to reach the quarters. And as if her path to the finals wasn't already easy enough, Camila Osorio scores a major upset over Danielle Collins in 3 sets, 6-4, 0-6, 6-1. So it'd be Swiatek and Osorio in the quarters. And my, oh my, Swiatek has not had a single tough test so far yet. She could cruise into the finals here. Petra Martic takes out the number 17 seed, Caroline Garcia, in 3 sets. Martic will take on Emma Navarro, the 11 seed, who wins 6-1, 6-4 over Arantxa Rus. In the bottom half, it's Jessica Pegula, the number 5 seed, winning in 3 sets over Sorribes Tormo. Pegula will set up a match with Jasmine Paolini, the number 4 seed, who wins in 3 sets over Schmiedlova. So that'll be a nice-looking quarterfinal matchup there between Pegula and Paolini. Clara Burrell takes out Danka Kovinic in 3 sets. So the French former junior number 1, Clara Burrell, is through to the quarterfinals, where she'll take on Tatiana Maria. Maria takes out Donna Vekic in 3 sets. And 0 seeds come out of that quarter here, as Burrell and Maria will be the quarterfinal matchup there. Back up top to start the quarterfinals, it is Swiatek, who drops a set, surprisingly, to Camila Osorio, but comes back and completely dominates the second and third sets. The final there, 6-7, 6-0, 6-1. Swiatek is into the semis. She will get Petra Martic. Martic takes out the number 11 seed and does Iga another big favor there. So Martic wins in 3 sets over Navarro and will set up a semis matchup against Iga Swiatek. And it is Jessica Pegula, the number 5 seed, 6-2, 6-3 over Jasmine Paolini. Paolini, of course, was the French Open finalist this year that lost to Iga. Pegula takes her out and makes her appearance here in the semis, where she will take on Clara Burrell. Speaking of nice, easy paths, Clara Burrell, I guess she had Siniakova in the first round and Putintseva in round number 2, so a couple decent wins there. But since then, it's been Danka Kovinic and Tatiana Maria. Clara Burrell is into the semis here, winning 6-7, 6-3, 6-4 over Maria. So our 4 remaining players in the chase for the gold medal, it is Iga Swiatek against Petra Martic, and Jessica Pegula, the number 5 seed, taking on Clara Burrell. And let's look at the winners of these semis. Who will be playing for the gold medal? It is Swiatek, no surprise whatsoever, winning in straight sets over Martic, but kind of a big surprise is Clara Burrell, the French woman, former junior number 1, is into the finals, taking out Jessica Pegula 6-2, 2-6, 6-2. So Swiatek and Clara Burrell will fight for that gold medal. So, of course, that means the bronze medal matchup will be down to Petra Martic of Croatia against the number 5 seed Jessica Pegula of the United States. Martic has been a tough out for Pegula in their careers. Martic leads the head-to-head 5-1 over Pegula. So let's see how this one plays out. Pegula wins set number 1, 6-4. I believe she would be a massive favorite here over Martic, but it's Martic who wins set number 2, 6-4, and forces a decider here for the bronze. In Paris, it goes to Petra Martic. So a big upset here. Martic takes home the bronze medal. She ups her head-to-head against Pegula to 6-1. And the Croatian is the Sunday Sims bronze medalist here in Paris. And that brings up the gold medal matchup between Swiatek and Clara Burel. Burel, of course, on her home soil at Roland Garros. Gosh, I would imagine Swiatek would be just, minus 10,000 favorite to win this. I can't imagine the odds would be close whatsoever. First set goes to Swiatek 6-2. And the second set goes to Swiatek 6-1. So domination throughout the entire tournament for Swiatek. She didn't really face many tough challenges whatsoever. If we look at Swiatek's road to this gold medal match, Irina Camelia Begu, Diane Perry, Elisabetta Cocchiaretto, Camila Osorio, Petra Martic, and Clara Burel. So the competition couldn't have made it any easier on her. But again, she's the big favorite to win, so no surprise that she comes out on top here as the gold medalist in the Sunday Sims 2024 Paris Games. And we will wrap it up in Washington again with the ladies. Small draw here for a 500, just 28 ladies, 4 buys. Arina Sabalenka is the number 1 seed here. As we look at the top half, the other seeded players be Victoria Azarenka, the number 6 seed. Ons Jabeur is the number 4 seed, and Anastasia Potapova is the number 9 seed. Into the bottom half, it's Elise Mertens, the number 8 seed, who will take on Emma Raducanu. Lyudmila Samsonova, the number 3 seed, getting a bye. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova is the number 7 seed. And Daria Kasatkina at the bottom end of this draw is the number 2 seed with a bye through to the second round. So let's go up top. We'll quickly take a look at the first round results. Sabalenka gets through on the bye, and she'll face Katie Volinets, who gets through having drawn a qualifier in round 1. Sabalenka and Volinets, I believe they met on clay at some point in the spring, and Volinets gave her a tough match for sure. Volinet's good up-and-coming player will take on Sabalenka. Karolina Pliskova 7-6, 6-0 over Wang Yafan. Pliskova will take on the number 6 seed Victoria Azarenka, who will move through as she drew a qualifier in round 1. Ons Jabeur is the number 4 seed. She gets through with the bye and will take on Shelby Rogers, who wins 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. We haven't seen Rogers in some time, but she takes out Robin Montgomery here in round 1. Marie Buzkova, we're going to move her through as she had a qualifier, and she will take on Anastasia Potapova, who the number 9 seed took out Taylor Townsend here in 3 sets. To the bottom half, it is Elise Mertens in 3 sets, taking out Emma Raducanu, 2-6, 6-4, 6-2. Mertens will take on Peyton Stearns, who wins in 3 sets over Ngugwe. Paula Badosa, 6-3, 6-3 winner over Sofia Kenin. Badosa will take on the number 3 seed Lyudmila Samsonova in round number 2. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, the number 7 seed, wins in 3 sets over Ashlyn Kruger. Pavlyuchenkova will take on Sloane Stevens, who will move through as she drew a qualifier. And finally, Caroline Dolehide in 3 sets takes out Lucia Sorenko. Dolehide will meet Daria Kasatkina, the number 2 seed, who had the bye in round number 1. To the start of the second round, it is the number 1 seed Aryna Sabalenka getting knocked out here. Big upset here as Katie Volinets gets it done 7-6, 6-3. Volinets will take on the number 6 seed Victoria Azarenka in round number 3. Azarenka wins in 3 sets over Pliskova. Ons Jabeur, the number 4 seed, wins 6-3, 6-2 over Shelby Rogers. Jabeur will take on Anastasia Potapova, the number 9 seed. Potapova takes out Marie Buzkova in 3 sets. Back to the bottom, Elise Mertens, the number 8 seed, is upset here by Peyton Stearns. Stearns gets through 7-5, 6-2. Stearns will take on Ludmila Samsonova. The number 3 seed is through, beating Paula Badosa in 3 sets. And finally, it's Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, the number 7 seed, winning in 3 sets over Sloane Stephens and setting up a matchup against her good friend Daria Kasatkina. The number 2 seed takes out Caroline Dolehide in 3 sets to take the final quarterfinal spot here. And looking at the top of the quarterfinals, we'll get started with Victoria Azarenka. The number 6 seed dispatches of Katie Volynets 6-2, 6-3. Azarenka will take on Anastasia Potapova, the number 9 seed, who wins 6-3, 6-3 over Ons Jabeur. Bit of an upset there. And to the bottom half, it is Ludmila Samsonova, the number 3 seed, winning in 3 sets over Peyton Stearns, and Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, the number 7 seed, winning in 3 sets over Daria Kasatkina. So it looks like we've got 3 Russians and a Belarusian. Of course, we've got a lot of players from those countries here in Washington, as there were some political issues that came up for a lot of these Russian players that made them not want to participate in the games. So we're seeing a lot of them in this Washington draw, men's and the women's side. And look at this, in the semis, we've got 3 Russians and 1 Belarusian. So it is Azarenka against Potapova and Samsonova against Pavlyuchenkova. And let's see who wins these. The final will be Victoria Azarenka, the number 6 seed. She takes out Potapova 7-6, 6-2, and will meet Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. The number 7 seed takes out Ludmila Samsonova 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. These two have played a lot. Victoria Azarenka has won 75% of those matches. She leads the head-to-head over Pavlyuchenkova 6-2. They did play on hard courts in Dubai in 2023, so Azarenka won that one. She looks like she would be the favorite here for sure. Surprisingly, she's not made a final since 2021 in Indian Wells, and Azarenka hasn't won a title since 2020 in Cincinnati, so let's see if she can change that here. She does win the first set, 6-2. Let's see if she can close it out. She does not. Pavlyuchenkova wins set number 2, 6-4, forcing a decider that goes the way of Victoria Azarenka. 6-2, 4-6, 7-5. Azarenka is your Sunday Sims City DC Open champion for 2024. So that brings us to the end of our 4 tournaments this week, and that is going to be the end of episode number 5. If you're a returning listener, I do appreciate you coming back. If you're a new listener, welcome. Thanks for listening. Definitely subscribe. Any kind of sharing that you can do on social media would really, really help us out, as we're a brand new podcast trying to grow our numbers and grow this community here. You can find us on Twitter at the Sunday Sims. Of course, if you're not watching this podcast on YouTube, I would highly recommend. It's definitely optimized for video with all of the draws that you can follow along with as the podcast goes on. And one more time, I want to tell you about the tennistips.com. That's where you can find all of my tennis betting, player prop, and DFS advice. We're on the Dub Club platform. That makes it really easy for you to get notified every time I post new tips. I leverage all of the same data and statistical modeling that I use here for the Sunday Sims into making informed tennis bets and player prop picks. With the VIP All Access package, you get my weekly outrights and futures bets, my daily moneyline best bets, player prop cards for sites like Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy, and a daily DFS Core 4 for those of you on DraftKings. Subscribe now at thetennistips.com. You can use promo code SundaySims for 20% off the VIP All Access package. You can also take advantage of free trials on the same VIP All Access package. So you can come in, try it out, see how it goes. Hopefully we win you some money and you subscribe at that point. And if you do, of course, use that promo code SundaySims. You'll get 20% off. Let's have some fun there. We can win some money, and you will help support the Sunday Sims podcast there at thetennistips.com. That's going to do it for me. Episode number 6 will be coming your way, looks like August 5th, where we have ATP is in Montreal, and the WTA is in Toronto. Of course, they flip-flop those cities every year. Those are both 1,000 level Masters tournaments, so a lot of good players we'll have there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you enjoyed your week. I hope you enjoy the Olympics, and let's do this again next week. Take care.